All right, welcome everyone to the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic any percent glitchless speedrun. My name is Seraphim, and I am joined by my good friend and commentator.
Hey, I'm Range with a 4 and a 3 and 2 underscores, lol. But yeah, I also speedrun KOTOR and have run this category before. So yeah, should be fun. Thanks for having me.
So I need everybody, just don't panic. I'm gonna quit the game real quick. Because just trust me. What happens in this game, because it's very silly, is the game will have memory dumps, and when memory dumps happen, the game crashes if I accumulate too much memory. So we're just resetting the game to make sure that my memory is squeaky clean and no issues. So before we get into the run, I have to make my character. Just to explain the build real quick, we're going to dump as many points into strength as we can because that will give us the most accuracy and power. We're going to dump a good amount into dexterity and constitution. Dexterity for defensive reasons, constitution for health reasons, intelligence for skill point reasons. For skill points, we're going to put 4 into computer use to help with using certain computers in the game and mitigating the amount of computer spikes we need to use. 1 point into the stealth to get an item that we can sell for credits, and then 4 into treat injury, because the higher your treat injury, the more effective your healing items are. And then for feet, we're going to focus on melee weapons, because we'll be using melee weapons for most of the run. And I'm going to name my character me, I guess.
Nice.
Because I don't know what else to do. All right, time starts when I hit play. So we're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, so glitchless, any percent, you know, it's sort of like playing the game how it was meant to be played. You can't skip cutscenes. It's a great viewer experience because you get to experience one of the best parts of this game, which is the story. So, lots of fun cutscenes, lots of combat.
And oddly enough, I held left at the start of my, at the start of the cutscene, and that's supposed to push my character closer, but for some reason that didn't happen, so we're just gonna ignore the fact that that didn't work right and just move forward. So this is Trask. Trask is kind of our introductory party member to teach us how the game works. He's also going to be our best damage on the Endar Spire. I equipped him with the second blaster pistol, because as you're going to see, he kills things quickly, and that way we can move on quickly. And this is a speedrun, so obviously we want to go quicker.
Yeah, and this section of the game is called the Endar Spire, and the Endar Spire is actually a really good section to like get the basics of playing this game down. You do a lot of equips, you do a lot of party switches, you use security, you hack a terminal. So,
yeah, there's a lot of different ways to progress through the game. This next part is kind of fun. There are these 3 Sith soldiers, and I have to throw a grenade at them, and hopefully they're all going to die.
Yeah, right, one thing about those is that the door that he's running to right now, that Seraphim's running to, will be locked if you don't kill all 3 Sith troopers. And it's pretty likely to happen, but sometimes one of them can survive. Or 2, I think.
So this cutscene is actually RNG, and I got kind of mediocre RNG. I mean, it's not like run killing. It's one of those, like, if you're a world record goal seeker like me, it's annoying to get bad cutscene RNG. I was trying to use Power Shot Blast by Trask, but for some reason, I kind of got mixed up in like my my combat's being weird.
Yeah, Trask
a little weird.
Sometimes skips a combat round for like no reason.
Yeah, so that was a little awkward. And he misses. What I'm supposed to do, well, part of what happened is Trask is supposed to kill the Sith guards in the other room quickly, so that when I click the main character on the door, Trask will actually teleport to me and he'll be right there. And that didn't happen because I accidentally messed up my inputs a little bit, and so it just took a little extra while longer, but we're doing fine.
The Seraphim also did a level up, and it's actually so quick just because of the nature of the level up that it's really easy to miss it. And we got a 2-hand weapon fighting, which is actually the top feat, so you can just spam enter and it will select it. Very fun level up.
Essentially, the way that our level ups are going to work is we want to maximize our ability to use melee weapons, two-handed weapons, because we'll be using a two-handed weapon for our main weapon. Oops. I'm so used to splitting that I stopped the timer. Sorry about that. Okay, we're good. We're fine. Everything's good.
Everything's great. Sleepy time cutscene.
And you might hear a little ding. I activated a stim during the cutscene. Yes, we are able to do that because I want to have alacrity stims on me at all times, especially on Terrace.
Yeah, so... oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
So a brief moment after you load into a module, there is a second where whatever cutscene is about to play has like a fade in where you can still control your character.
Right,
And we utilize that to use a stim before the cutscene started.
Alacrity stims give us a 20% movement speed increase, which is our fastest form of movement at this point in the run.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to keep alacrity active the whole time. You lose a ton of time if you can't keep it active.
So now we have our first shopping trip of the run. We're gonna sell... oh, I had an extra vibroblade. That was weird. Well, I guess we'll just take the extra credits from it. So we want to keep a vibroblade, grenades, computer spikes, and stims, and health packs, because we'll need to use all of those. But the rest we're gonna sell. Essentially, the way that shopping works in this game, you want to sell things you don't need and buy things you do need. In this case, we bought a couple of computer spikes. We have a pretty tight route for our computer spikes in this run in order to go through certain parts of the game as quick as possible.
I see from your...
So you have to make sure we get them, and the credit routing can be a little tight there. We also did a second shopping trip with Zelka. Zelka has something called the Nerve Enhancement Package, which gives us some immunity to certain effects, so we're less likely to get stunned, that type of thing. And we also bought Alacrity Sim, so we'll have plenty to get us through Terrace, and hopefully extra.
And one of the things you have to do in this game to get to the lower city is get a Sith disguise. And there's two ways to do that. And it kind of just depends on what category you're doing, but in the any percent categories, we usually do this. Or, yeah, because the other one is tied to a quest that we don't need to do.
So you might be wondering why I'm activating solo mode and moving my characters. The way that having party members and loading into different areas works is when your characters are close enough, you can just immediately go to the loading zone, like go through the loading zone with another character, and it works. Now, that can be a double-edged sword because I can position my characters strategically to go through loading zones faster, but you'll notice at certain points in the run, it can be really difficult when your characters don't want to behave correctly, especially when there's enemies around, and they keep you from moving forward because they're off doing something on the other side of the map. I took Karth out of my party for this exact reason. Sometimes you can get stuck on stuff, and it's really, really annoying. And I couldn't actually transition to this next zone because he's somehow like way back by the apartment. So I just take him out of my party for marathon safety.
Yeah, I basically do that all the time just because Karth... It's better to lose 2 seconds than lose like 20 seconds when he messes up, so... I don't know. Safe strats are good, in glitchless especially.
I saw a comment in chat about light side versus dark side. For our speed run, light side is much faster. One of the reasons is if you go dark side, you have to go with a certain party member who I won't spoil. And that party member will get into combat and make it hard for you to continue on. The other advantage to being light side is we get access to certain lightsaber upgrades that are really powerful, and you have to be light side aligned to use them.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're pushing the limits with this route, based of like how leveled we're gonna be. So we have to make use with as much stuff as we can because we're not actually gonna get that high of a level.
Sure.
So I just set a transit point. You can warp back to your base and then warp back to the spot that you went back to your base farm, which is really helpful for getting a free health refill. Now, I actually made a small mistake. I was supposed to remove the Sith armor on Karth, and I forgot to do that. And the Vex don't want to deal with Sith. They thought we were Sith for some reason. But the reason that we set a transit point is that we can go back to that spot later on. We have to go back to the cantina later on, and so it's just quicker to set a transit point there instead of walking all the way back.
Yeah, and the game only gives you one transit point, unless you use glitches. But we use it very strategically. Yeah, there's actually a new glitch found where we can set multiple, and it's kind of hard to set up, but it actually comes in use in the all quest route a single time. It's pretty fun.
So in terms of the story right now, we were a Republic scout, or we were conscripted by the Republic to help out, and our ship crashed because the Sith attacked it. And there is this Jedi named Bastil who has this really super cool Jedi ability that's really rare. And her escape pod crashed somewhere in the lower city. Well, a rival gang has captured her. And so we're going to work with the other gang in order to free her. And so we essentially agreed to infiltrate the other gang's base, steal a swoop bike prototype accelerator, because there's this thing called swoop racing, which is basically pod racing. So that way we can win Bastil back in whatever tournament they're holding. Now to get to that base, we have to go through the Undercity. Yeah, we have to help Pendar first, though. So Karth's Power Blast, much like Trask's, is the most powerful DPS that we have. That was an okay Rat-Ghoul fight. It can be kind of RNG dependent. This is based on D&D combat, where it's all dice rolls and dice damage numbers, so the combat's a little RNG. It's really annoying if you miss a bunch of times.
Yeah?
What?
So in order to progress, we have to help Mission out. She's like a super cheeky little scavenger who knows all these tricks to get into the Vulkar base, but she won't help us until we help her rescue her friend Zalbar. Well, we actually want Zalbar because he's going to be helpful later on. So we're going to go out of our way to rescue Zalbar.
Big Z.
One thing you might notice is I'm moving through the text really fast. The way that we do that is left click will advance text quickly, but you can also why my brain is stopping. You can also press the enter key by the numpad on your keyboard, and that will act as a click. And so I'm essentially doing 2 click inputs at once instead of just one.
Yeah, mashing in this game is really fun and really fast. At least I think so. It's not too hard on your hands. You know, maybe a little bit, but...
So now that we rescued Zalbar, we can get through this force field. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. I can't even remember. All good. Yep, we got Zalbar. Mission will let us through the sewers now. Now we remove Mission, similar to how we removed Karth earlier. She just gets in the way now. So, you know, it's a speedrun. You can literally just run past most things. So, this is the Gamorrean anti-speedrun patrol. Sometimes they body block you.
They're rude, super duper rude. If we had Mission in our party, or really anybody, they would be getting in combat right now, and we couldn't advance once we get to the next door to enter our next zone. Now we actually have a skip coming up here. There's this big Rancor, and we have to get around it. Now you're supposed to do a whole bunch of stuff, and that takes a lot of time. I am going to do a safety save. But what we can do is we can kind of aggro the Rancor. And then if I move around strategically enough, I can get the Rancor stuck in that wall and he won't swipe at me, and easy peasy.
That was a good one. Yeah, you can take it pretty tight, actually, if you get it down. And Seraphim did that really well. It's safer to take them in a huge circle, but, you know, it takes more time, so.
Try to be efficient.
If he hits you, then you die, so.
Yes, you don't want to die. That's why it's safety save, because that can go wrong.
Yeah, and this is another kind of RNG section of the run. This can actually kill runs here. So Seraphim's gonna chuck 2 concussion grenades at these 3 turrets, and it's about a 50-50 chance to stun them all 3 of them. And that's what we need, because those turrets are one-shot kills. You're definitely not intended to go through that door, but it's so fast if you can make it happen. So, first try grenades, really good.
Yeah, most people in the community would say first or second try is acceptable. Anything after 2 tries, in my opinion, is pretty slow.
Yeah, for sure.
So the way that I just had to reapply an alacrity stem, which is actually kind of a bummer. So there's an interesting thing in this game. Now, don't yell at me. I'm doing a glitchless run, but I am doing a glitch. There's a glitch called duration glitch. Essentially, what happens is when you have stims or force powers or something on, they're on a timer. Well, those timers are still active even if you're going through, say, a loading zone. And so the way the game developers compensate for that is they add more time to your stim. But if you go through loading zones enough, that time can add up to a point, especially since we go really fast, that you can keep your stim on for like a really long time.
Yep.
So on the way out of this room, sometimes there's a 1 in 2 chance that these turrets will attack you and kill you. And so that's why I safety saved, because that's, especially after getting it first try, that tends to happen. Second try is always consistent.
Yeah, I've had some weird stuff happen in that room. Those turrets can be a nightmare.
And the reason that we allow duration glitch is we have no way to prevent it. Like, it just happens, and there's no, oh my gosh, high damage.
Yeah.
We can't prevent duration glitch.
You would have to just stand next to a loading zone until your stim tore off every time. Or like close the game, which is just horrible. So
it really just makes the run better. Like, yeah. Duration glitch just makes everything better.
Yeah.
So that's why
I feel like it's not even, it's more like a bug than like a glitch. I don't know. Like, if there is a difference.
Trust me,
it's
the
unavoidable.
speedrun's way better with duration glitch.
Every casual player also has it.
True. Yeah, I like what Sanjin said. Glitch less. Because KOTOR is so glitchy that that's why I had to restart the game. If I kept my game open, like if I was just on the main screen, there is a chance I could have had a glitch activated as I went into a new file. Like, the game is just that insane.
Yep, so we went through the sewers, rescued, got the swoop accelerator, and now we're doing the swoop race to rescue Bastila. So that's like the first half of Terrace, and Terrace is one of the longest planets in every category.
Right now, it's gonna feel like we're throwing a lot of information at you. That's just the nature of Terrace. Trust me, things will get a little bit more routine after we get off of Terrace. There's just a lot of like little things that we have to do that we really don't need to do in any other part of the game. So the way that the swoop racing works is you just have to hit all the speed pads and you go fast. The way that you advance the story is on your second heat, which I'm about to do, I have to beat my first heat by 1/4 of a second, but I get a speed boost. So as long as I don't hit one of these obstacles, I'll be fine. And it's actually more optimal to hold your third boost a little bit longer than you would the other two. The first two you want to use right away. I forget exactly why that's the case, but I know that that is the case.
Yeah. Ultimately, in swoops, you're fighting over like 0.2 of a second, so it's really not a huge deal if you don't know the like super optimal path. As long as you don't fail, you're good to go.
Bastila escaped. Bastila wasn't captured at all. She was just biding her time, I guess. So now we have to fight Bregic, and the way that we fight Bregic is pretty nice. We're gonna throw a poison grenade at him because it's a guaranteed hit, and then 2 sonic grenades, which do a lot of damage. So if I get 2 20s, okay, I got 120, so that's fine. Usually if I hit 2 20s, he dies right away, but he still dies from the poison. Fight. Yeah, that was a pretty decent fight.
You can get unlucky there, and it'll take a long time.
Yeah, unless you're like me, where I had like ridiculously good RNG and world record, and so like my standards are like unnecessarily high, but it's fine.
Yeah, there is a good bit of RNG in this category if you want like a really top time right now. But it's fun. It's a really fun category.
Oh, absolutely. All right, time for our next level up. Now that we have Bastila, oops, we have access to force speed. Force speed is awesome. It doubles your movement speed, which is really helpful.
Yes.
So we're going to be using Bastila to kind of taxi us around a little bit.
What can I do?
So we had to talk to Canderous there, who is a potential party member. Wink, wink. And he's like, hey, I'll help you get off this planet because there's a Sith blockade that's stopping us from leaving. And he's like, hey, if you break into this base and steal these codes, I'll get us a ship. So we have to go break into this base. I'm going to use solo mode here because Bastila will go over here, and I'm actually going to be swapped to my main character. We're going to get T3, which does give us some dark side points, but don't worry, we'll overcome the dark side in a little bit. And then that warps us all the way back here. So instead of going from all the way at that chop way back here, if you use solo mode, I can go here right away, which is really handy. Get T3 to open the base. And now it's time for the most brutal part of RNG in the run. Right. So I'm going to give strength stims to both the main character and Zalbar, because that will help with our damage and our accuracy. Part of why the Sith Governor base is so brutal is the enemies are pretty high level, and our ability to hit some of the bosses is really difficult.
Yeah, so the turrets was one of the first reset points, and Sith base is probably another one. But obviously, we're not going to reset.
No, we won't reset. Although I hope I don't die. It is possible to die.
Yeah. Like the governor fight can just go awry. It can go horribly if you're really unlucky. This fight too can be really slow. Assault droid. So we're gonna try to stun the assault droid, and you just kind of pray.
And I didn't get the stun, but that's pretty
not
normal.
The end of the world, unless everyone just misses. Like
unless you're going for a world record, then it's kind of the end of the world. Oops. We use T3 to take care of these droids. Zalbar, we're hitting them okay. This is pretty slow, but there's not much I can do about it either. Come on. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I have access to a level up, but I don't want to use it. And I'll explain why on the next planet. But for now, I have to take on the Sith governor.
Yes.
So I'm praying that T3 will stun him. Okay, so that's weird. Zalbar got stunned, but I stunned the Sith. Okay, this is super weird.
Yes.
Okay,
right.
This is a little scary.
it is a little scary.
Because when he gets low health like that and I don't kill him, he does this where he heals. This is not good.
Alright. That's the moment of truth. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Okay,
Right,
I stunned him. Okay, gosh, that was sketchy. That was really sketchy. Usually he can heal, which he did, and he was stunning my characters. So that was honestly, that is a scary fight, and I actually thought I was gonna die for a second. I might have had to have reset or like load a save, but thankfully we were able to get some lucky hits despite the bad luck, and T3 got that other stun on him. Holy cow, that was scary. That was about as bad as that could have gone without me actually dying.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm here.
So
Time to bring Bastila back in for taxi service.
Yes. And now we just run for a bit. We've basically done everything on Terrace that we need to do, so we're gonna go back up and meet with Canderous at the cantina. You just have to run there.
And I'm going to take Bastila out of my party because, like, you see all those enemies? If I had a party member, Bastila would be like, ooh, enemies, I'm going to go punch them. And we're going to be like, don't do that. And then I'm trying to walk into this cantina, and it's like, nope, your party's too far away from the loading zone, and then you're really sad.
I figured.
All right, we want to make sure we bring T3 with us because that's super important. T3 is going to be very helpful in the next area, but before we get to the next area, we have to get intermission time.
Intermission time.
Destroy the entire planet. The entire planet, Lord Malik.
Well, this guy's mean. He wants to destroy an entire planet?
We'd be slaughtering countless innocent civilians, not to mention our own men still on the surface. Your predecessor
Classic Star Wars blow up planet.
I know. Can you guys imagine there's a Star Wars game involved with blowing up planets? Never seen that before.
Of course not, my Lord Malik. I will do as you command, but it will take
They blow up
several
a lot of
hours to
planets.
position our fleet. Then I suggest
In this game, they blow up another one too.
Dismissed, Admiral.
True. That's true.
Yes, Lord Malik.
The Empire did nothing wrong. Just kidding.
All right. So the way we're getting off this planet, because there's a block, we can't just like take a random ship and escape because the Sith have this whole planet surrounded because they're looking for Bastila. So we're gonna steal this guy Davik's ship, and we needed the Sith codes to get past the brigade, and now we got to get the ship. Now I'm going to be doing a strat where I move T3 forward because I want T3 to follow me. Sometimes you can get caught on Canderous and it's really bad, so I just like to move him forward for a little bit of consistency. And this estate part is pretty short if you know what to do. Oh, I don't know why I turned solo mode on there.
Yeah,
That was really
this part
weird.
Is great, but if you somehow mess up the computer spike route, oh my god, it's a pain.
I actually don't think I have a backup if I mess that up.
You have to like, there's like two things you can do. I think there's a lockbox with computer spikes, and then there's also, you can like rescue a prisoner that is like a pilot or something.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but that ain't gonna happen.
I'll take care
Well,
of it,
fortunately, I didn't mess up the route.
Let's go.
So the way this next fight works is we just have to bring Callow's health down to half. So to do that consistently, I'm going to... Oh, what is going on? Oh, okay. I think I accidentally clicked on Davik, which caused me to walk towards him despite being in the cutscene. That was kind of weird. That can happen sometimes if I'm mashing too early. But yeah, we got Callow's health down to half. I wanted to keep my party members back because if my party members are too close to Callow, they have to like walk back in that cutscene that just played. Well, if you don't go that close, then the cutscene plays right away, which is helpful. Then we gotta unequip that from my main character, and we are off this planet.
Let's go.
Terrace is by
Terrace
far
is
the most
defenseless
RNG
against
heavy
our
part of the
assault.
game.
They are offering no
I am likely
resistance.
lost several minutes to
The
world
city
record
is in-
pace, which is fine. I'm not going for world record while I'm doing this run. But it just goes to show how brutal parts of the run can be, especially early on. But we're not out of it yet. Despite escaping, we're gonna get pursued by these ships. Oh no! It's minigame time! So we will have a minigame that we do every so often in the run, where these Sith fighters are going to attack us. It's the same pattern every time. So we have a kind of a set way. I think each runner kind of does it their own way of how to kill these things efficiently. There is a little bit of RNG to them because sometimes they can take 2 hits or 3 hits to kill.
It's a pretty annoying minigame in my opinion, but that's just because it can lose a lot of time.
So I was very fortunate. I took 3 Alacrity Sims with me out of Terrace, which is perfect because I'm going to be walking to the Jedi Council chambers twice, so we can use that 20% movement speed increase. But I have to keep one alacrity no matter what for Manon. I'll explain why when we get to Manon, but if you don't have an alacrity sim going into Manon, you need to get one. Otherwise, I would be losing a lot
so you are the
of
one
time.
Who rescued Bastila. It is appropriate you are here. We have been discussing your rather special case. I am Jar.
Looks like the Jedi took a liking to the fact that we were pretty helpful on Terrace, despite being just a regular, ordinary scout.
Master Dorak, Padawan Bastila.
I wish I could be a Jedi,
with.
but that'll never happen. I'm just a scout, and I'm an adult, so there's no way I could be a Jedi. You love Pazak when there's no speed running involved. Lane. Or I'm assuming every speedrunner hates Pazak in its own way. Range, how do you feel about Pazak in your all quest speedruns?
Oh boy. I think it's bad. I think we should remove it from all quests, but the problem is that it's a quest, so you have to do it. But oh my god, it would make the whole category so much better.
But yes, casually, I actually do like it.
Yeah, Pazak
well,
is fun.
Guess what, guys? Even though we're an adult and we're just a scout, they think we're talented enough, and they're gonna make us a Jedi anyway. So, hooray! We're getting our Jedi training.
I actually like Pazak, to clarify, but in a speedrun, it's a lot of RNG, and it's not very fun. Yeah,
Jedi is
we're
never
Jedi now.
alone. Others in the Order will
Master
always
Vandar.
stand by you. You and
Legend
Bastila
himself.
share a special bond. Do not be afraid.
So
to
one of
turn
the main
away
reason we
from
held our
training.
level ups to this point is now we are going to be a Jedi class.
The way of the Jedi
That
is
is really
difficult.
good for us
It
because
requires great
when we have
discipline.
skill points, we can dump
Yet
more
even
skill
though
points
you
into
are a mere
persuasion
apprentice,
because
your
as any
potential
of the
is
main
unlimited,
classes at the start of the game,
and your
it takes 2
progress
points to put into
amazing.
persuasion, but once you're a Jedi,
In
you
all
only
my
have to use
years,
1,
I have
and we
never
are going
seen
to
one who has
be
mastered the
needing a
initial
lot of
training so
persuasion in
quickly.
the run, so this just optimizes our ability to get more out of our persuasion, and I believe also more out of our force powers as well.
I am honored to welcome you fully into the Jedi Order.
Alright, so Master
Soon.
Zar just acknowledged that we're like the best Jedi pupil ever. And I have to pass the Jedi code, which is just 63264. If you're a speedrunner, that's all I think of it as. So we're gonna get improved 2-weapon fighting, force speed and force valor if I could click the stinking button. So now
jump
we
and persuade.
ourselves also have force speed, which is going to be great for movement. We are now going to be able to zoom. We don't have to care about alacrity sims anymore because we can just use force speed and go 50% faster. Force
Another
valor will help with some
subtle-
combat as well.
No worries. Another subtle thing was that we just dumped all of our skill points that we were saving. We purposely didn't use skill points on our earlier level ups. We dumped them all into Persuade. Because Persuade is actually incredibly useful in this game. Which is not surprising, right? It's an RPG.
We could just talk our way out of things.
Yeah.
So a quick upgrade, equipment update. I'm not gonna have any clothes on. Oh wait, this is Nemo, guys. We're gonna play Finding Nemo. Okay, sorry, I almost forgot. We have to play Finding Nemo. So keep your eyes out for Nemo.
So John talks to you. He wants you to do a quest.
We say no. But essentially, the way that our equipment and build looks right now, we don't have any clothes on because you have to use a specific armor in order to use force powers. We also equip the strength gauntlets to give us extra strength and the adrenal amplifier belt, and that helps us with some save throws, I believe. We also picked the Jedi Guardian class because that gives us access to force jumping. As you can see, force jumping is a really fast form of movement if you can do it efficiently.
Yeah, force jumping super useful. Looks cool too.
So
also,
we're
if you're a scoundrel, your force jumps will give you a sneak attack, and that's
I
a
didn't know
really
that.
sick build to run in this game because then you'll just hit for so much. A scoundrel guardian. Anyway.
I actually didn't know that. Thank you for that. So the Jedi Council gave us a mission to cleanse this grove of evil, and that evil is this fallen Jedi named Juhani, who's actually kind of hard to hit. So we stim up, and we actually loot that Mandalorian and use a battle sim because it's really helpful. I am getting unlucky right for now. So I want to use normal attacks when she normal attacks, and I want to flurry when she flurries, and she is not flurrying like at all. This is really weird.
Yeah, because when she flurries, her chance to dodge or her armor class gets lowered a little bit or something. And our flurry is less likely to hit than the normal attack by a little bit, but if she uses flurry, then it becomes better at that point. That's a strat brought to you by Indy Kenobi, if I'm not mistaken.
Shouts to Indy.
And it actually does help. Because that fight is pretty inconsistent.
You have done.
Yeah, we're only level 6, and usually you exit Terrace at like level 10 or 11 or something like that.
It is good.
So we just proved that we are ready to take on this quest they have. We want to go into this temple, because apparently Darth Malak and Darth Revan, these evil Sith Lords, well, no, Darth Revan's dead. We don't have to worry about him anymore. But Darth Malak we do have to worry about. And so we're going to go to these ruins that apparently they visited. Figure out what the heck they're up to. So I want to loot that corpse for some credits, and I also get something called the Verpine Headband, which will be the best headgear we will get in the game. We're going to get most of our equipment by the end of Dantooine. It's honestly, it's good enough, and it takes too much time to go get other stuff.
One thing right here, if you walk too far to the left, a cutscene will trigger. So that's why he hugged the right side of the entrance to the ruins. So you can just skip that cutscene by walking around it.
So I'm going to bring T3 into my party, and we're going to use the power of solo mode.
So in this game, basically when any dialogue or like cutscene is happening, your character is still within that module. All the cutscenes are happening within a module, and that's kind of the premise of glitching this game, is that you can break out of the cutscenes because you're technically still inside, like your character is still there. Anyway, it's pretty interesting. I like it.
So the way that this strat works is you use the Jedi to go to the terminals quickly, then T3 to progress. That way you're not walking back and forth. Now, the one downside is sometimes my party members will get stuck on random stuff on the way out, and it's really annoying because they have to be close enough, to the loading zone. So let's see if they will actually follow me or not, or if they're gonna get stuck. And hey, we found Nemo. Oh dear.
Found Nemo.
When T3 got stuck.
Sure. He has a crystal that we will use to upgrade our lightsaber.
Yes, he also gives us the Jedi Knight robes, which will be our best armor in the game. E3, I swear. My party members were not cooperative.
Up in this game pretty early to succeed, but you have to know what to get. Or just play the game casually and level up a ton until you are high enough level.
Did I mention that we stole Bastla's lightsaber? Because that's what we do.
She won't need it. She'll be on the Ebon Hawk.
Yeah, we don't really use Bastla at all unless we are forced to, and then it's really bad. Bastla is not a good party member.
Have you discovered?
Yeah, she's not
what
really.
It was at Revan?
She comes. You have to use her on the Leviathan,
and we will summon you.
And that's about it.
Padawan, you have done well in discovering the star.
So our main form of DPS will be to use Flurry. It's just the strongest move that we have, and with the double-bladed lightsaber, we're gonna have 3 attack rolls per one attack, which is the best DPS we can use at this point in the game.
And Seraphim
really
just
for all the game.
His lightsaber and then equip the Jedi Knight robes.
Yep, so now I can still use force powers, but I have better defense.
Cutscene time.
In terms of story, we found out that Malak and Revan were looking for these star maps, and these star maps led to some kind of weapon that they were trying to use. Well, guess what the task of the game is? We're gonna go retrace their steps and figure out where the heck they went so we can stop Darth Malak once and for all.
We're gonna find their totally original, never done before, gigantic
She was
base.
aided by Carthonasi, a decorated war hero.
That's never
Wait,
been
a
done before in
giant
Star Wars.
base that a giant space
During the
base that
Mandalore
causes
Wars, he was
death?
honored many times for his bravery.
No
Never heard
way.
of it.
Yes, Lord Malak, he served under me when I still followed the Republic. You could say I was his mentor.
Interesting. How did you acquire...
If anybody has questions in the chat about the build or about why we're doing things, just let us know. One thing we can't... Wait, Cal Nord's alive! What? I thought he died! Unbelievable.
Apparently they left him for dead.
Cal's alive.
And a war hero.
Well, now that the shock is out of the way,
Encounter.
I am hard to kill, Lord Malak.
Carlo has agreed
I should probably explain the planet route. So we go to Manan first for two major reasons. The first reason is we're still pretty underleveled for the most part, and Manan has very little combat. So we can get experience points pretty easily without having to fight things. So we're going to get a level up and close to a second level up, which will be helpful. And two is actually related to Cal Nord. At the end of the first and third planet you visit after being on Dantooine, you'll have to fight a mini-boss at the end. And on Manan and Tatooine, we can just run past them and just leave. Whereas if we go to Korriban first or third, for example, we can't teleport to the Ebon Hawk right away because there'll be a boss in our way. So the planet route will be Manan, Korriban, Tatooine, Kashyyyk. So here we are, Manan. Manan's a very interesting planet. It's very neutral. The Republic and Sith are not allowed to fight. Now, I want to bring T3 into my party because there's a cutscene that can play in that docking bay we just exited. Unless you have T3, then there's no cutscene. So thank you, T3. T3 is such a good party member.
Yeah, then we mash these guys. Ooh,
We're gonna make a pit stop. Oh, I barely had enough credits. I have 3 credits right now. So I just bought 5 stims, 2 hyper alacrities and 3 hyper strength stims. Hyper alacrities give you 30% movement speed, and hyper strength will increase your strength, hence your accuracy and damage by a lot. One way we're going to mitigate the fact that we're under leveled for pretty much the whole game is by using hyper stims. We're gonna use force persuasion.
Obey the laws here on Manan.
We can get out of there, and I talk. That droid's name is Bob, right?
Yep.
That's Bob the droid. That's what the community calls that droid. So I feel like I had to show up Bob. You might have missed
What is
it.
his
One of
name
the
again?
obey the laws of a non-human.
Yeah. Obey the laws here on Manan, human. And then there's Fred, which is this guy.
Oh, that's Fred. The
Republic soldier.
yeah.
I forgot what he says. So, oh, greetings, Master Jedi. Something like that.
Welcome to
So this is Roland. He's like, hey, we're like, yo, we need to go underwater because that's where we had a dream about. That's where the star map was. He's like, I'll get you underwater if you help us break into the Sith base to retrieve some information we lost. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go invade a Sith embassy.
Yeah, so that was all we really had to do was just go talk to that one guy. And that lets us go to the Sith base.
One thing I do want to mention about the build is we did get Effect Mind, and we're going to get Dominate Mind in our next Force Power, because that gives us access to Force Persuasion. That's why I was able to persuade the docking guard to not force us to pay for a docking fee. And Force Persuasion combined with our level of Persuasion is going to be the quickest way to get through certain conversations. I got hit for 2 4s. I thought that said 44 damage and my heart sunk for a second. But no, nothing can hit us for that much damage yet. So here we are. Unfortunately, Force Persuasion does not work on this Sith. She's a tough one to crack. I don't think it's possible to Force Persuade her to just let you walk through. But we're going to invade the base. Fortunately, what we need to get from the base is really close by. We just need to grab some codes from this droid. Ow, that's a lot of damage. And then we can exit and get out of here scot-free. So long, suckers! You'll never catch me!
Yeah, and it's looking really easy because it's going pretty well, but depending on how much damage you take throughout Terrace up to this point, you can actually get kind of stuck there. Like, you can run out of med packs, and everyone hits you for a lot. And we're still not out of the blue yet, actually. Even though I think it's going all right. Like, how many med packs do you have?
Well, I have one, so I'll explain. I have a backup strat.
Oh,
so,
yeah, backup strat.
We got caught by the Manon police because they think we're breaking neutrality, so they put us on probation. And so if we do something bad again that they don't like, we're gonna get banned. So what I do when I'm low on med packs is I just warp back to the Ebon Hawk. It gives me a free health bar refill, and that is gonna be fine. I only need one med pack for Manon because I'm not going to take enough damage until I get to a certain point, and then I will get med packs from a chest anyway in case I needed emergency backup ones. But I am very low. I rarely have I usually have like 3 or 4 med packs by this point, so I took a lot of damage early on that I normally wouldn't.
Have you met?
So we rescued the Republic's information, which essentially would have exposed them for the fact that they're building a secret coltal mining facility. Coltal is this healing substance that everybody's using in the war to heal their soldiers. And some of the people on Manon are like, dude, the Sith are evil. We don't want to help them. So they were secretly helping the Republic build this base. Well, apparently something weird was going on down here. And so that's why they lost that data in the first place, and they need our help. All right, so all these Cellcats went insane for some reason. So we're gonna loot a footlocker in a second and grab a submarine suit. The reason we kept that alacrity stim is because we are gonna go underwater. And the underwater section is really slow. Fortunately, if you have 4 speed and an alacrity stim on, we move pretty fast. The reason I looted that footlocker was to get the sonic emitter. That's going to help us kill some fish that are going to try to eat us.
Who's there?
Meet a guy. He's out here all alone.
Yeah, so there were some mercenaries sent to like protect this base. He's like, okay, everyone's going insane inside, so I'm just going to stay in the water, and I'm smart and safe. So this guy thinks he knows his stuff. This guy thinks he's the smartest guy on the planet.
If he had just stayed still, he might have been fine, yeah.
Don't just stand there, we have to keep moving. The water is filled with cow.
And he dies. Womp womp. So, unfortunately, we cannot go faster. Now, the quickest way to use a sonic emitter is to enter into your inventory, and this actually is a good time to talk about something that we do in the speedrun, and anything that you as casual players could do as well. If you use med packs or stims from the action queue, there's an animation that plays. You may have noticed that I've been using my med packs and my stims from my menu. That's because it's way quicker to just go into my menu and use it right away than to put it in a queue, and I can also use multiple stims very quickly at the same time. The disadvantage to that is you can only do that like once every like 3 or 4 seconds when you're in combat. If you're out of combat, you can do as much as you want in the inventory. But if you're wondering why we use stim packs or stims and med packs from the menu, that it's because it's faster.
No, I won't let you open the door for those what?
So here are these scientists, and we find out the reason the Cellcats are going crazy is they dug their coltal plant way too close to a Feroxa habitat site, and it's disrupting things. So basically, capitalism happened and the environment's in danger. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not the same thing, but yes, this corporate factory is causing environmental damage. So I'm going to shut it down, and I have to do a very specific set of numbers, so I'm going to focus on it. The combination is 1, 2, 4, 5, 5. Ooh, okay, I'm glad I didn't mess that up.
I like to practice saying that one as fast as possible.
Oh yeah, if you want to, you're a KOTOR speedrunner when you say 1, 2, 4, 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5.
124254525. 124254525.
Because that's what that's like a rite of passage, is remembering that number, that set of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fable, you're right. It's once per round, and every round of combat takes roughly 3 to 4 seconds, I believe. So as you noticed, we didn't do any combat, but hey, we got a level up. I'm gonna use that level up when we get inside because I want to make the most out of my alacrity stim timer, or my force speed timer, before it runs out. My alacrity stim consistently duration glitches, so I don't have to worry about the alacrity, but I do have to reapply force speed, so I just wait till the next area to use the level up. Well, I don't really have much to say. We're just walking inside. I hope everybody's enjoying the run so far. Thank you so much for being here. Star Wars speedruns are great, and I'm glad we have an opportunity to showcase a variety of them.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love KOTOR speedrunning.
All right, we're almost done. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. I was just saying, Manon is like a nice ambiance. And honestly, having some slow sections in a speedrun is like a good thing almost, you know? It's like, it gives you a second to like recoup. Like the cutscenes, you can get some water.
True. So I had a very important level up there. I'll explain that after the fact that we had to fight Calo Nord. Well, you don't have to fight Calo Nord. We're gonna just walk away. And he dies. We'll learn very soon that he actually died. So we killed Calo Nord. Congratulations, us.
Yeah,
but
run past him.
The reason that level up was important is I got my persuasion to 10 and I got dominate mind. That is really important for Korriban because we have an important conversation to get us a bunch of light side points. And if we don't have that, we fail the conversation and we will be hosed.
Yeah, because then we can't use the Solari crystal, and the Solari crystal is very OP.
So the Socath government was like, "Hey, what was all those explosions underwater?" And we're like, "You're never gonna take me alive," and so we get banned. We literally get banned from Korriban, or from Manon. You cannot come back to Manon in the speedrun route. If I were to go back to Manon, they would not let me exit the city.
Wow, so the Solari crystal gives you +3 on your attack rolls. That's like so.
It's wild. It's super good. Yeah, don't even ask me to memorize that, Sanjin. I'll be honest, I'm going to be using notes for that. So persuade that guy.
No.
And then this Sith teacher is going to kill them, but not because we have good enough persuasion to make him well, basically force his mind to think otherwise. But hey, it gives us a bunch of light side points, so that's good.
Look.
Here we meet Lashow. She's the bully of the Sith Academy. I'm sure we'll never have to deal with her. And now it is time for the one shopping trip of the speedrun.
Well, Manon, you buy just a couple.
Well, yes, okay, but the major shopping trip of the speedrun.
Yeah, once you do this, you're done.
So I sold a whole bunch of things I didn't need, and I bought all the med packs and stims, because now I am set for the rest of the run. I am ready to fight anything and not die. And we want to have a bunch of hyper stims that give us the greatest buffs, which will help us to get through combat the most efficiently. And we need all the med packs we can get. You never are really at risk of running out. It's just smart to buy them all. That way you never have to worry about it. Alright, next we have to set a safety save because we need to get into the Sith Academy and Nathura is our ticket in. But sometimes she'll say no. It's a 75% chance of working, so for me to actually not get it first try is kind of unlucky. But we got it second try, so that's good.
Yeah, persuade, really important in this category. And in all quest as well, because
Ah, there.
you can basically skip Joggy's quest if you have like 13 persuade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So the way Korriban works is the star map is in a tomb, but we can't get into that tomb until we convince Uthar, the head of the academy, to take us there. And we have to earn renown or something like that, or points, some kind of fake point system. And we're gonna do that by doing 3 activities. One, we're gonna turn in Kel, that guy we talked to who's doubting that he is a Sith, which will give us dark side points, but that's okay. We get so few for doing that. Our alignment route will be fine. Second, we're going to recite the Sith code, which is a whole lot of numbers I don't want to deal with, but we're going to deal with it anyway. And 3, we're going to go work with Lasho to get a holocron and totally not take it from her.
Nope. Would never do that.
So you're about to witness the way we're going to be doing combat for pretty much the rest of the game. I'm going to use Force Valor, and I'm going to equip a Hyper Alacrity, Hyper Stamina, Hyper Strength, and Hyper Battle Stem. Well, I guess Hyper Achani in this case, because it's a little bit stronger than the Hyper Battle Stems. And I want to use my stronger stem early on when I'm not as powerful to mitigate the fact that we're low level still. So we have to kill these Kakata before we can totally not fight Lasho. And I'm going to level up there so I get my extra point in the strength, which helps with my damage. And Lasho's like, we're going to betray you. And we're like, oh no, don't do that. And then we're going to kill her anyway. Nice. 2 rounds is a pretty efficient Lasho fight. That fight can take longer. So now we got the holocron and we're ready to go into the tomb. Now on our way back, we have to deal with something. These Shiraks. Shiraks are either your best friend or your worst enemy. Or I guess in between two. The Shiraks can spawn at different locations. And I don't care if they spawn to where I can jump, although it's nice. What I really, really, really care about is sometimes they can make their way over to the entrance of the base. Well, this is a problem because when I'm done with Korriban, I'm going to have to come back to the academy and come back out here to warp to the Ebonhawk. And if there are enemies, I can't warp. So it's really scary when the Shiraks are not behaving properly. Because they're really hard to hit for the level that we're at.
Greeting.
I have to do a...
It's another classic conversation here.
Okay.
3131332322, I think? Something like that.
That's 3131332344X 322 because there's a variable answer. That's why I had to stop and think about it for a second.
I forgot about the 44X.
So then.
Oops. I actually clicked off my screen. If you notice my game pause, that's why. Because we play in windowed mode. Another thing that I forgot to mention, you might have noticed that none of the movies played. You can disable the movies in the settings if you go through the game files. There's like a menu, so it's not cheating. It's just it's a hidden menu in the game files that you can disable movies, which is really helpful.
And you can skip them on console, right? Just by mashing. Maybe not.
Alright, so we are now in the tomb. And to get through the tomb quickly, I gotta get this grenade to get across a pit of acid. Looting that corpse right there is really important. That gives us the Solaric Crystal, which, as Range was saying, is going to be a huge upgrade to our lightsaber.
Yeah, without it, the final fight against Malik is just really bad. Even with it, it's not that good.
So here's the star map. So the Sith think we're here to join the Academy, and we need to get our Sith lightsaber to prove that we are a true Sith. Well, that's not how this is gonna work. what's gonna happen is Euthura, the reason that she brought us in here was to help kill Uthar because she wants control of the academy. We're actually gonna help her out.
So,
But then we're gonna spare Euthura because she's like, ah, you helped me, but I'm actually gonna kill you, and I got stunned. That is really unlucky.
Yeah. That can be kind of brutal. Nice, there we go.
Fortunately, he didn't heal himself because he could heal himself, and
yeah,
that is
and
really
he
bad.
still attacked Euthera, so I think he got like a little bit extra roll if it's not targeting. Maybe not.
That's a lot of damage. So I'm gonna heal just to be safe. So after you fight Euthura, you lose all your buffs, so I have to reapply force speed. And we cannot actually teleport to the Ebonhawk from here. We have to go back through the Sith Academy. I believe the reason for that is after every planet you do, there's a chance that you do that, like how we dealt with Calo Nord last time. There's a chance there could have been a boss here, but because we did the planet second, we don't actually have to deal with that. But I think the game still has like a trigger in it that you can't like warp out of here. All right, so as long as the Shireks don't come any closer, we'll be fine. If they do, I'm going to be really cranky. Thank you, Keeper. Thank you, Zero. Appreciate you guys a lot.
Let's go, Seraphim.
Okay, can we warp? Can we warp? Yes, we can. Yay, that is way quicker.
Upgrade the lightsaber real quick. Now we're using the Solari and the Sigil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We have one more upgrade to our lightsaber, but we will get that at the end of Tatooine. All right. One of my favorite characters is about to make an appearance.
Calo Nord is dead. Lord Malak, he has failed in his mission. Forgive me.
The penalty for failure is death, Admiral Kareth. But the failure was Calo's, not yours. You may rise.
Shall I hire another bounty hunter?
All right, I guess Admiral Kareth survives this time.
Against a Jedi. I shall not make the same mistake again. My apprentice, Darth Bandon.
Darth Bandon?
Young Jedi friend.
Darth Bandon? Who's that? Whoa. He looks scary. Whoa, edgy. He just killed his own guys because he can. Now, you guys might think this is Darth Bandon. No. This is Darth Brandon. He is Darth Brandon. Trust me.
Darth Brandon.
He kind of does give up Kylo Ren vibes, not gonna lie.
He suffers from alopecia.
As you command, Master.
Not to bring that up.
So, okay, guys, I need you to not panic. I need you to not panic. I have to close the game again. Remember that memory dump thing I talked about at the beginning of the run? Well, we accumulated a bunch of memory, and this is a good halfway point in order to guarantee that I don't crash on Starforge. We're gonna wait for that up, and then I'm going. Okay, I had to do one little thing, and now we are back. We are back and ready to go on Tatooine. Tatooine's not too bad.
Welcome.
Although the worst part of it comes right here. That's right, guys. We are now the proud owners of Gizka. Yay, Gizka. I love it when Gizka run around my ship and block my movement every step of the way. It's so much fun. Oh, all right. Well, despite the fact that we got Gizka, we got scammed by that guy, we're going to move on. Now, we have to exit Anchorhead here. But to do that, I have to get a hunting license. The Zerka Corporation like, hey, we don't like the Sand People, so go kill them. And we're like, okay, I guess. Unfortunately, we do have to kill the Sand People. Maybe you're like me, and after Book of Boba Fett, you have a deeper appreciation for the Sand People. But we are going to kill them in this playthrough. Everybody wave hi to HK47. Hi, HK47. Yeah, very sad, guys. We don't get HK in the run. I know.
No one.
HK is my favorite character in KOTOR.
Your screen share changed to Discord.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I need to make sure that Range can see. So we're just gonna do that real quick. Hopefully that works. Sorry for the pause. Yeah, unfortunately, when I closed my game, it closed my Discord screen share, so I had to reshare the screen share. But yeah, I'm sad. HK is my favorite, but to make up for it, I think it would be great if we could share our favorite HK47 voice line in the chat room, because I think that would be hilarious. Now we're gonna get ready to destroy a sand person. We're gonna steal his clothes and steal some food. We gotta steal some bantha fodder for later on. And this guy has both. I'm also going to get... Oh, I did get the level up. Hopefully I get the level up soon. I didn't realize I was just low on experience. I'm gonna have to kill these guys. There it is. I really, really, really needed that level up, because I now have Night Speed. Night Speed is awesome. Night Speed is going to add an extra attack roll to every swing that we do. So, Night Speed, remember how we got 3 attacks per flurry? Now we get 4. And that actually adds a lot of damage. A lot of damage. It's great. Keeper, are you saying you don't know who HK47 is? Is that what you're saying? We're talking about bantha fodder. Bantha fodder is food for bantha. Alright, so we equipped that disguise so we could get past the turrets, and now that we're past them, we're gonna go kill their chieftain, because that will allow us to progress with the game. HK47 is a very funny droid that wants to blast everything. HK47 just wants every meatbag to die. And it's really funny, except his master most of the time. Keeper's an HK50. Yeah. I did not get very good people to jump to. Oh well. Callow died apparently at the end of Mana when we left him for dead, I guess? I don't know. Maybe the Cellcath got him. I have no idea, Fabled. Yeah, HK47 is great. I love after you buy HK47 from Yukalaka, and you talk to him again, he's like, phew, I'm glad you got that worn out droid out of here. And HK47's like, objection, worn out? Listen, you listen, you talentless organic meatbag. One word from my master and I will rip you apart limb from useless limb. It's so funny. His inflection is great. If you want to understand why HK47 is so great, go to YouTube and Google HK47 best moments. It is glorious. So we killed the Sand Chieftain. That will allow us to progress to this area where we get to help Comet. We have to get to the star map, which is behind this dragon. And this bounty hunter is an idiot and thinks he can kill this dragon and then just dies. Very smart. So the reason we needed the bantha is Comet's like, hey, if you can bring me some bantha, I can lure the dragon out and we can kill it, and you can get what you want and I can get what I want. So, hey, there's some bantha right over here. Unfortunately, the sand people are not going to like the fact that we are using their animals as bait. So we're going to have to kill some more sand people, unfortunately.
So, this fight could be a pain if we did the planet order in a different order, but since it's later in the game and we're strong now, it's actually not that bad.
Now that we have improved Flurry, the Solari Crystal, and Night Speed, we are pretty formidable. I would say at this point, there's really... We can fight just about anything in the game now.
Yeah. It's only Malik, and even Malik is fine. You're just not gonna...
Granted, we do play the game on easy, so everything's 50% easier anyway. But hey, it's faster. I mean, easy is the fastest way to play the game.
Raising the difficulty in these games does not really make it more fun. It just makes you need to chug med packs. And like,
yeah, it's basically the same but more menuing.
And menuing's fun and all, but not that type of menuing.
So because we were able to kill the Crate Dragon, we now have our final lightsaber upgrade. The Crate Dragon Pearl. That is going to make our lightsaber pretty beefy, and we will now have all the equipment we need for the rest of the run. At this point, it'll just be a few more level ups, and we'll be good to go. I needed to loot that corpse there for a very important item called the Nerve Amplifier Belt. In the next area that we're going to be going to, we're going to be forced to have Karth with us, and Karth is at risk of getting stunned by enemies. And remember how duration glitch helps us like keep our buffs and our stims and all that? Well, the reverse is also true. If you go into another loading zone with a debuff, it can duration glitch, and Karth could be stunned for minutes. And remember how you have to be next to your party has to be close enough to loading zones in order to advance? Guess what happens when Karth is stunned for several minutes on the other side of the map? Not good. Now, Darth Brandon was mean. He poisoned me, but you can use an antidote kit to get rid of the debuff for the slow. Oh crap, I didn't grab the purple crystal. Oh well. Well, I'm gonna stick with yellow. Sorry, I'm mean. Terrible marathon run. It's ruined. You can loot a purple lightsaber crystal, and I didn't do it.
Dang. Yep, that's
I know,
swag
I'm the
strat.
worst. I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it. Alright, I have another strat to do. We're going to put a alacrity stim on Canderous. For very good reason. We're going to be using Canderous in the next area. And I'll explain why it's fast to use him. But for now, we're done with Tatooine. We got the Crate Dragon Pearl on, and it's time to go to Kashyyyk. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Oh crap, everything's going wrong.
It's the Leviathan.
Yeah, so after you get your 4th star map, including the Dantooine one, you get caught by the Leviathan, and we're gonna be imprisoned on the ship. The reason I brought Canderous into my party and gave him a stim is we're gonna use Canderous to break our party out of prison because he's the fastest person to do it, and the hyper alacrity stim increases his movement speed by 30%. So it's just a way faster way of doing it. Range, you want to talk about the history of how this was discovered? To use Canderous?
Well, so we were using Jolie or Juhani. I think it was both saw use. But then Will M.I., a fellow KOTOR runner, accidentally chose Canderous. And basically Canderous is the only character that doesn't have an intro cutscene. So it's kind of weird, but it works out really well, actually.
Also, the enemies that he faces can't stun him. Or get, like, if you played as Juhani, there's a Sith guard that can, like, stun you, and you have to restart because the stun lasts too long. But Canderous, who, by the way, for story purposes, the reason he gets into the morgue, he basically puts himself in a near-death situation by, like, pretty much, like, burning himself to death, uses his healing stims, or implants, to heal him up, and then breaks us out while wearing no clothes. That is a Mandalorian. This is a Mandalorian for you.
And he regenerates health when he takes damage. So he's very tanky.
Yes, very tanky. We don't have to worry about him dying. Now it's time for arguably the hardest part of the speedrun outside of Terrace. The reason that the Leviathan is difficult is you are forced to have Karth and Bastila with you. And party members are a pain because we're going to be running through enemies, and guess what your party members are going to want to do? Not follow you. They want to get into combat because they think it's funny to do that.
Yeah, it's very annoying. There's a ton of enemies, but there is a way to kind of manipulate running past everybody, but it can go wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna go step by step what I do because I did a lot of like work to try to get this consistent. So sometimes you have to have your party members with you. For this particular transition, you don't. So we just use solo mode and leave them there.
Yeah, you can use the elevator up here without your party members being near you.
But on the way back, you have to use them.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a safety save and load it because sometimes your party members won't move properly. So this way makes it more consistent. So right now, my party members are following close behind me and they're moving fairly fast because I have night speed on. Now we should be able to run past this guard. Okay, so he didn't shoot them. That guard will throw a grenade or shoot sometimes, but if you move fast enough, your party members won't get into combat with them. So far, so good. Second step is we're going to get some spacesuits because we're going to go onto a walkway in space. And I need to have another safety save because in this next room I can get stunned. Fortunately, okay. Party member Karth! This is why this part sucks.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So even though I did everything correctly, Karth just decided not to go with us, and I lost time. Really, really annoying. Wow, Bastila is basically dead. Actually,
So you get the limping animation.
Yeah, this is pretty unique. I forget.
Limping space
Yeah.
spacesuit. Sorry.
Do I have to give her a health pack? She's at 0 health.
I can't remember.
Can I give health packs in this? I can't. Okay. Well, this is interesting because Bastila is down right now, which is actually really unfortunate for me. I want my party members to have full HP for the Saul Kareth fight. Unfortunately, I took a lot of damage because freaking Karth was like, I'm going to shoot these guys from the other room and I'm not going to let you progress.
There's a chance for the Saul Kareth cutscene to soft lock if one of the party members dies right as it's triggering. So I don't know, maybe make a hard save or something? Or heal Bastila?
I'll just heal Bastila. I have the med packs to do so.
Sure.
So I'm going to that. Okay. Nope, I don't want to. Okay, so I don't need to equip anything on Bastila. I put solo mode on because it stops my party members from coming out so quickly, and I'm hoping they take less damage. I want them to take as much damage in the Saul Kareth fight as possible and draw fire so I don't have to heal the main character as much. This fight can be a little involved. My goal is to kill the Dark Jedi because they can put a pretty nasty debuff on me, and then we're going to kill Saul because he does a lot of DPS, and then we'll finish up the rest of the soldiers after that. So let's hope that I don't get the debuff. Okay, I actually killed that guy really quick. That is really good. So what I like to do is after I kill the Dark Jedi here, I like to heal up because my debuff tends to run out at this point. And then I can heal up, reapply force speed. And now we can kill Saul. My party members lasted a little less than I wanted to, and I usually kill Saul there. That's unfortunate, and I'm going to have to use an extra. Normally, if everything goes well, I don't actually have to use an extra heal pack, but this time, I got kind of unlucky with my party members dying so quickly. Oh, why are you going over here? I didn't do that.
So you'll see Seraphim kind of bumping against people in between combat rounds, or moving to a different area in between combat rounds. The bumping can cause the NPCs to not be able to attack if it lines up with their combat round. So it's a pretty nifty strat. You can use it to guarantee sneak attacks if you're a scoundrel, stuff like that.
I also like bumping into them because it resets the combat gauge, because on occasion your character will just like randomly queue an attack, and it's really annoying. So I'm gonna do a nice little strat here. I'm gonna do solo mode and put a hyper alacrity on Karth. And then I'm gonna move my party members forward. The reason I want to do this is now my party members are close enough to the door where I can just keep going.
Yeah, and there's a few things that can go wrong there. Karth can get stunned, which then if you enter a load zone, his stun will get duration glitched, and that's very annoying. And then also they can die if you're slow, which is bad. So if it goes wrong, it means you have to kill all of those Sith troopers, which, oh my god,
That's
takes
horrible.
like a minute probably.
So I want to be very careful. I'm going to really quickly jump to this guy, and then I want to move forward. I want my party members to be past this hallway, because if Karth is in this hallway, or even Bastila, they can aggro to enemies down there, but if they're past the hallway, they won't. I also want to be pretty quick, because I don't have enough force power to reactivate night speed, so I want to be quick enough so that way I can get to the elevator and get through it without... oh my gosh, Bastila wasn't quite in there. Yeah, I can duration glitch and start getting my level, or like my force power back, because you can't get force power back when you're in combat. But now I'm out of combat, so my force is going to regenerate now. I leave my level up to that point too for that reason. I want to get through the area as fast as possible, because I want to make sure that my stims duration glitch and my force speed duration glitches. Now, I have to warn everybody, if you want to play this game for yourself and you haven't yet, stop watching now. A huge spoiler is about to happen. Darth Malik himself confronts us. All right, Malik, we're going to stop you once and for all. You are evil. You are the most evil person in this room right now. No one is more evil than you, and we're going to stop you. But by the way, who is Darth Revan? I wonder what he does look like under that mask.
Why does he just randomly take it off here anyway?
What? We're Darth Revan? It was us the whole time? We're the evil Sith Lord that died? Are you serious? You're telling me that Bastila actually subdued us, we lost our memory, and the Jedi Council reprogrammed our mind, which is basically the character select screen, and it caused us to have our own personality so we would stop being evil?
What's funny about this spoiler to me is that if you pay attention, like if you've already played the game, there's so many like foreshadowing, there's so much foreshadowing about it.
Oh yeah, like, we've been discussing your special case.
Yeah, just all the Jedi training stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like, and then when Master Zard's like, wow, you're really gifted, he's gassing you up because he knows you're Darth Revan and just wants you to, like, not be Darth Revan anymore.
It's like, maybe if I'm, like, a nice father figure, still could choose the light side.
Yeah, no, it's not that we're just a gifted main character. We're just a former Sith Lord that just forgot how to be a Jedi slash Sith.
You two get out of here. Find the Star Forge.
So Bastila tells us to find the Star Forge. Karth says no. Now we just skip the cutscene. No! We're not doing it. Forget it. We're going back to Tatooine and having a mimosa on the lawn.
Sounds great.
Well, we are escaping Leviathan, except Bastila sacrificed herself in the process. And minigame time! And I accidentally missed it. Oops. And I think I was one hit off. Unbelievable. Well, that wasn't bad. So our whole party is like, oh my gosh, you're Darth Revan? And we don't care, you're just you. Except if you're Karth, then you're like, I'm suspicious of you. Whereas HK-47 would say, oh master, I cannot trust you. I cannot trust anyone. I think it's so funny in KOTOR 2 when HK-47 mocks Karth and Bastila. That's another good HK line if you're looking for funny moments.
They do deserve a good mocking sometimes.
True. Very, very true. I'm gonna go to the store right here to get some extra stims just for some backup.
Nice. Talking to him also gives you a quest that we will not do.
True. And apparently, even though we just found out we're Darth Revan, apparently the whole galaxy knows now. And this guy's like, hey, you want to join our secret organization? And we're like, what? But don't worry, that guy's actually really helpful, and you'll see why at the end of Kashyyyk.
I've talked to this gate guard, and he lets us go through.
Yep, and I'm gonna do a hyper strength and hyper battle stim and force valor here because there are some enemies I want to kill. Most of the enemies we're gonna run past, but we're gonna get our final party member, Jolie, and we're gonna have to walk with him back. And there's a certain point where he's gonna warp to us, so I'm gonna kill all the enemies that are close to this area. So that way Jolie doesn't aggro to them. Because guess what? If Jolie aggroes to an enemy here, he might aggro to an enemy over by this enemy. And then he might aggro to the enemy farther away. And then my life is miserable because he's constantly like attacking enemies.
Zerka guys at the beginning, we actually did a persuade check on them. It's not very difficult though. But if you mess it up, they'll attack you.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
The Dark Jedi. Do you want to talk about wire jumping?
So there's this weird thing that goes on in this game called wire targeting. Basically, sometimes your character, even though you switch to a new target, it will sometimes still act like you're targeting the last thing that you're targeting. So if you were to like press default action on a new target, it would actually force jump you to the enemy that you just targeted before, which is a pain in the booty. So we do something specific to cancel it because it just kind of obstructs our force jumps. But if we cancel it, we can force jump and use them very cleanly and smoothly and get the most out of it. I don't really know exactly why it happens. It has something to do with the thing that we're targeting and like the memory value that is set when you're targeting something. Yeah, so it's happening right now. Seraphim's force jumping. He does this thing where he uses one or default action, then quickly cancels combat, and then once again reuses default action to force jump. So it's like force jump, cancel force jump, or one cancel force jump. Both work. I use one preferably. Default kind of messed up on me a little bit.
I also use one. I like that you can just walk past those enemies. I also set a transit point because we're going to warp back to the Ebon Hawk through the village. And now we are in the lower Shadowlands. Say goodbye to Zalbar. I hope you guys aren't too attached to Zalbar because we're going to leave him behind. His younger... I hate these guys so much. They can block me and it's super annoying. I get really tilted. This is probably my least favorite part of the run in terms of like being a world record contender. This part can go so wrong so quickly.
Yeah, because you have to have party members, and it's so windy, and there's so many enemies. Yeah.
But
Fun fact, those Katarn are one of the few things that can kill you in the 80% unrestricted run. So these Katarn too.
So I set a transit point. Oh wait, I was gonna just mention a story point real quick. We are allowed to go down here because Zalbar's brother is mean and evil and wants us to kill his dad. But we're not gonna do anything related to that. We're just gonna get the star map and bounce, but we're gonna leave Zalbar behind in the process.
What?
Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, I don't remember. Nothing big. Story's important. We're getting rid of the poachers.
I find with the Shadowlands, the hardest part about it is you want to force jump the things, but their positions are sometimes weird, and like weird things can happen, like where I got stuck, or like that guy blocked me jumping to that guy. Like that's just so annoying to deal with in the speedrun.
Yeah, and if you get the optimal force jumps, it probably saves like
a lot of time.
Quite a lot of time, yeah.
I get like 13 jumps in this area between going there like to the next area and back.
Nice.
And it's like that's like my gold split. It's very hard to replicate that. No, don't jump to the wolf corpse. Yeah, it can be hard because you try to target something, but then it doesn't, and then it targets to something else, and then when you action towards it, it like focuses on that instead. It can be really difficult to...
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't think clicking on something is hard, but in this game, things are just really weird sometimes.
Also, Seraphim is the world record holder of this category, and I'm actually second. And we're actually only 6 seconds apart, so
yes.
Goes to tell you, time is important.
The RNG matters.
Yeah.
Dang, my stims wore out. Fortunately, I have backup strength and hyper battle stims for this exact situation.
A lot of people have been running this over the last 2 years. Like, I want to say like at least 10 people have learned it. Maybe more.
This is a good run if you want like a RPG light. Like there is definitely RNG, but like it's a good RPG game and it's not like super like... Oops, I did not mean to use an Achani there. Oh well, that's fine, I guess. I like to save the Achanis for Starforge.
Yeah, stim management is pretty big in this category. You want to give yourself the best chances every time you're in combat.
Well, I guess I at least killed those Kinrath in one shot because I used the Achani instead of Hyper Battle.
Sure.
It's one of those things where, like, it's not a big mistake. It doesn't really, like, cost me a lot of time, but it is slight efficiency stuff, so, like, I'm bothered by it, but it's all good. So part of the reason we come to Kashyyyk last is once you know that you're Darth Revan, you can just say, hey, dude, I'm Darth Revan, and the machine's like, all right, you can just have the star map.
Otherwise, you have to do a very long dialogue. Or fight some droids.
I'm looking backwards to make sure Julie's following me.
Actually,
sometimes he'll get stuck on a wall. I've seen Julie get stuck on a wall, and then he's way back by the star map, and then I have to wait for him to run all the way over, and it's not fun.
Yeah, if you kill the Kinrath, it's usually not too bad, but, you know, party member AI is very unreliable, so... There's all these things that you wouldn't think about in this category that need to be managed, and they're pretty subtle sometimes.
A lot of subtle management, a lot of like weird RNG. Like it's not like big RNG, it's like little RNG. Like the placement of the enemies, or like if the game thinks I'm trying to select like a device when I'm actually trying to select on an enemy. There's just like all these like little things you have to be aware of and ready for.
And then like horsepower management, stim management, credit management, computer spec management, persuade management. There's all these like different things you have to hit. And it's come a long way. The route is very clean now. And that's in large part to Indy Kenobi, who always comes up with new stuff. Shout out
I can
Indy
attest,
Kenobi.
the previous route in this game used... Oh my gosh, this tech's gonna aggro to me. Get out of here, tech. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes the enemies can like group up by you. Like you can't talk to an NPC if you're in combat. So like sometimes like the whole herd of enemies that I just ran by will like swarm by you. Are you serious? I can't get past that guy? That's annoying. And that can cost me a lot of time. Imagine being on world record and you lose 20 seconds because you're forced to kill enemies that just happen to like be in a bad spot. It can be really, really annoying. So remember that weird guy at the beginning of Kashyyyk? I hope this Dark Jedi doesn't follow me. He's gonna appear up here, and Jolie's gonna warp to me. So instead of having to take Jolie through all these enemies to get back to this loading zone where you can walk through, this guy warps us here, and then I can just walk back. As long as Jolie doesn't aggro to that Dark Jedi. Okay.
And we turn off solo mode so that Jolie will come with us. You'll remember we killed these Kinrath up here, so they won't be a problem. Oh wait, no, we didn't.
Well, we don't kill these Kinrath because they're so close to the door.
You kill the ones right after that. You're right. Yeah. Past those Zerka people.
And then instead of walking to the Ebonhawk, we're going to warp back to the Wookiee village and warp back to the Ebonhawk much faster.
Using that transit once again. transit very useful, and just the game mechanic.
So we
We'll fly to
have
the
collected
Starforge
all the
this
star
time.
maps. It's time to go to the Starforge.
So if you remember when the Leviathan Bastila was captured, this is showing Malik trying to change Bastila, turn her to the dark side.
No, Bastila won't turn to the dark side. She's all game. She's been harping on us about, are you gonna stay true to the light? Are you gonna stay true to the light? There's no way Bastila would fall to the dark side, right?
No, dear Bastila.
No way.
You misunderstand. This is but a taste of the dark side to whet your appetite.
The way he
That
caresses
cutscene's
her
gross.
face.
Yeah, it's super creepy and uncomfortable.
It will be willingly.
When you finally swear loyal to me, it will be willing. That's some manipulator stuff right there.
But I see
Bad
the
Malik.
truth in your heart. The dark side calls to you, Bastila. You hunger to taste it. Become my apprentice, and all its power can be yours.
Well, hopefully we can finally find the Starforge.
The Starforge.
Hey, there it is.
I've never seen anything like it.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong. We can just fly there and just end the game, right?
So these cutscenes take place in what's called a stunt module, and it's basically like a smaller, more basic version of a module, which is where you exist in this game.
We're outside the sensor range.
So technically, right now, your character is actually often
Small vanguard of Sith
like
fighters
in the
coming
distance,
hard.
watching
Someone
from
needs to
afar.
get on those gun turrets.
There's two.
Take those fighters out before they report our position to the main.
Yeah, if you watch glitch categories of the game, you'll see what Range is talking about.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
you
that
can skip
cutscene's not. Yeah, we can't skip that, which is kind of unfortunate, but part of the deal.
Yeah, this game once again super broken. There's like 5 ways to skip that, or just like skip stuff. But stunt modules are very finicky, and they'll crash a lot if you try to do too many glitches to them.
Overloads in all systems. I'm picking up a single planet in this system. I'll try and
It's
put it
actually
down
not that
there.
hard to find one either. If you
Hold
just
on.
like mash at the end of like cutscenes and stuff, I've just like like when I didn't know the game as well, like I accidentally like got into a module just because I was
Yeah.
mashing too much.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to soft lock this game.
So here we are on Lahan,
Firmly in
and
the end game.
yeah, we are in the end game. There's this disruptor field that's stopping us from getting to the Starforge. Maybe the locals will help us out. Nope, locals are evil. Locals hate us. We're gonna run away from the locals. Yeah, unfortunately, the locals want to kill us. But we are gonna have to enlist their help.
There's 2 locals. There's 2 different tribes. The evil ones and the good ones, yo.
I think I didn't use a strength or something.
So
That was
naturally,
weird.
we choose the good ones.
Well, the funny thing is, it's kind of the Zoomers versus the Boomers.
True.
You have the
But
young guy,
Zoomers
you have
are-
the young generation who's like, we want to rebuild the Rakata Empire, who was this bloodthirsty, evil empire that like enslaved the galaxy. It was so brutal that it collapsed under its own brutality. So yeah, the elders are like, dude, don't do that again. That's dumb. And the young ones are like, we're gonna control the galaxy. And this time, the Boomers are faster to work with. So that's what we're gonna do.
He wants to meet and talk to you, and you basically just tell him to screw off.
So he's gonna. Apparently, he was like, so conveniently, some rancors from a ship just happened to like collapse or crash onto the planet, and so they have rancors. Now, the reason this part could actually be annoying, I was pretty fortunate. The rancor all come out to try and like fight you. I wanted to talk to that elder, but you can't talk to the elder when you are in combat. So I had to like walk around the rancor that was charging me in order to get like to talk and advance the storyline. But there are times where the rancor won't move and it's impossible to avoid it getting hit, and it's a pretty nasty time loss if that's the case. Fortunately, the Rakata are lining up nicely so we can jump to them. Oh, bye, Lou. killed an NPC. Oops. But I'm not doing all quests, otherwise I would have invalidated my run. My force speed is in duration glitching. Usually it duration glitches because I'm gonna be going through several loading zones. But I do get a little worried. My force power is usually enough where I don't have to worry about it, but it's still a little like, I kind of just hold my breath. I hope it stays. And that didn't that time. Well, we're gonna pray that force speed duration glitches, because otherwise I'm gonna lose that 50% and just have to rely on the alacrity speed boost.
Hyper alacrities make you pretty fast.
Oh yeah, Gizka violence warning. If you're sensitive to Gizka violence, look away now. Oof.
Rip the Gizka.
Rip the Gizka. So we have to walk over here, and I'm gonna get hit by a pothole. There are these things in the game called potholes, where basically just some random thing just blocks your movement. Really obnoxious. It can literally just be the ground. No objects, no nothing. You just get blocked because the game said so. So we're going to talk to the elders, and they're going to allow us to go inside the temple, which is good, because the temple is where we can get rid of the disruptor field so we can go to the Star Forge and save the galaxy. They're going to go deliberate. And they're like, all right, fine, we're going to help you, Revan. We're like, thank you. Oh wow, the Rancor actually lined up nicely. Usually I don't get the force jump to these guys this easily.
Yeah, that was a really good one. So we're running back to the temple exterior to do the ritual that will let us into the temple. And the game force adds Jolie and Juhani here at this next cutscene,
which is not as bad as being forced to have Karth and Bastila, but you still have to be careful.
Luckily, all the load zones inside the temple are pretty close to each other, which means we can enter them and not have to worry about our party members.
Oh no, who could it be? So apparently the elders were like, you have to go alone. And our Jedi friends are like, no, we must go with Revan. And then we're like, please? And they're like, fine.
So much for their old school ways.
Alright, we're about to witness a jaw-dropping cutscene.
Lord Malak, the preparations are nearly complete.
What's going on with Malak's face? What's working on it right now? I wonder what's going on there.
Operating at nearly 300% of our projections. The fleet is assembling around the Star Forge and awaits your instructions.
What's Malak up to? Oogly boogly boogly.
Where's your jaw, dude?
The guy's just visibly grimacing.
Yeah, I love that. That guy's like freaked out right now. I bet Malak's dental bill is super low.
He looks like he's an undead in World of Warcraft.
Oh, he kind of does.
As you wish, Lord Malak.
So the first thing I'm going to do, now that this cutscene loads, is I'm going to activate solo mode, and I'm going to move my characters ever so slightly. I don't want my characters to move at all or get into combat. Though, funny thing. Solo mode is supposed to make it so that you move solo. Well, if you don't move your characters, sometimes they'll just move for a few extra steps, even though you had solo mode on. So I like to move my characters ever so slightly so I can guarantee that they stay put.
Yeah, it takes a second for solo mode to like really register, so your party members will still walk. So you cycle through your party members. We actually do that a lot in speedrunning this game in general. There's a lot of little things like that.
All right, now it's time to see if Seraphim can spell. I have to make an H.
A capital H or a lowercase h?
Capital. Good clarification.
So we just opened the doors to the temple summit. So now we're just gonna run back. And lots of running, you know. It's all good though.
Yes.
Same deal. I'm gonna do solo mode with my characters.
Yeah, just keep them still. Because the load zone that you're going into is directly above them. So it's close enough for you just to enter it. More force jumping here.
And I'm going to be putting 2 force powers on, Force Valor and Energy Resistance, because we're going to be fighting a Force user. And we want to make sure we don't get hit by some debuffs. I also want to hit this sentry droid. It doesn't matter if I kill it or not. I usually do. Because when you come back through here, which you will be doing, those droids will sometimes spawn on top of that area, and your party members will like get aggro to them, but if you hit them, they go back down to the main area. It's very interesting. So it's just a nice little optimization. What's Bastila doing here? Why does she have a red lightsaber?
OMG.
Are you telling me Bastila turned to the dark side after all? After telling us all game how, ooh, you're at risk of falling to the dark side. I am better than you.
So she's really easy to hit, but sometimes she can do a stasis field and freeze your entire party, which obviously loses time, but pretty unlikely, and you can resist it if she does use it.
So I like to activate solo mode here because your party members can follow you and then get stuck, but if you activate solo mode and just turn it off, they follow you right away, and it's just a little bit more consistent. I also did my final level up of the game, level 12, and Jolie decided to be slow. I actually had a very interesting thing happen in my practice run last night. Jolie literally died. Like, Bastila, like, pushed him so far that he exited my party. Like, he wasn't in my party icon anymore. It was pretty wild.
That is weird.
I do want to mention, I got my one and only Dark Force power that we get in this run. We got Force Drain. We're going to be using Force Drain in the Starforge.
Yeah. If you somehow forgot that, it would be so bad.
Yes, if I didn't get Force Drain, this run would go over estimate.
Yeah. You could either, like, kill all the droids outside Malik's
Where's Bastila?
room.
Is she alive? What happened inside that temple?
I think you
would that give me enough experience to get, like, Destroy Droid, or not Destroy Droid,
yeah.
but, like, to...
Get the correct thing.
Yeah.
I think, it depends. It's hard to say. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I have done that before and it worked.
Let's just say it's really bad.
It's really bad.
So, we have fixed our hyperdrive. We've got rid of the disruptor field, and it is time to take on the menacing Darth Malik once and for all. But first, a 2-minute cutscene. Unskippable, sadly.
Admiral Adana, this is Carthanasi. We're receiving your transmission.
Carth, I'm glad to see you are still alive. We've begun our assault on the Star Forge, but we're taking heavy losses. How did the Sith ever manage to build something of this scope?
The Star Forge wasn't constructed by the Sith, Admiral. We don't have time for me to fully explain it, but that space station is far older than you can.
Trying to think if there's anything else we need to mention at this point.
I don't know if we have the firepower to go up against this alien technology.
If you're interested in learning the game, there's a KOTOR Discord.
It's been
We have lots of
churning out
good guides.
capital ships, snub fighters, and
Yeah.
assault
We
droids
love
that
helping
have
people.
powered the Sith war effort. You have to destroy the Star Forge now.
Yeah, there's also, if you guys don't know, there's a general Star Wars speedrunning Discord too, that a lot of people will like post stuff in, if they have like promotionals or like they get new PBs and that type of thing. I know the Star Wars speedruns in general tends to be a bit of a smaller scope of like community, but like the games are really, really sick. And
there's a lot of cool games.
There's like like if you took all the smaller games and put them together, like the community is actually fairly sizable. And the cool thing with Star Wars games, there's so many different kinds of games that you can find one that really fits your needs. And so if you've ever enjoyed Star Wars, consider speedrunning one of the games. There's probably a game for you. And I know some of the more recent games of the last decade have been met with mixed results, mostly because EA exists. But hey, bad video games tend to make really good speedruns. So maybe you had a Star Wars game that's like, maybe casually wasn't always the best, but as a speedrun is honestly probably pretty good. Or you could be KOTOR and be a good casual game and a good speedrun.
True. Here, here. Long cutscene. A little bit over 3 minutes.
Actually, it might. Yeah, is it 3 minutes? I thought it was only 2. Yeah. If you want a bathroom break, now is the time. Well, now it's too late because we're going to be starting up pretty soon.
Don't worry, Admiral. The Evanhawk and her crew are
Lenny,
going to see this through to the
I'm going to tell you right now. Anybody can speedrun. That's why there's this thing called practice and notes. Practice and notes. And I believe in you.
Yeah, you know, doesn't matter what time you get. It's all about having fun and learning, you know. It's a good.
So I'm paranoid, so I'm gonna just get an extra computer spike from T3. Cause we use all, and I mean all of our computer spikes. So I'm just gonna grab that one extra computer spike, so that way I guarantee that I didn't make any weird mistakes. And I can do my next the final computer terminal.
It's a big oopsie.
We'll deal with these Sith. You get into this.
Anybody can speedrun.
Yeah,
and like here's the thing with speedrunning too. Like you don't have to like grind for world record to be a good speedrunner. Speedrunning is about playing games that you enjoy and getting better at your own pace. If world record is something you want, then yeah, it's probably going to take a lot of extra effort and time. But you don't have to like grind the game a bunch. You can do whatever you want. Like I don't feel like what is a good or bad speedrunners. If you're talking about like who's closest to world record or who has world record, fine. But like what is a good speedrunner? You know, like what like is a good speedrunner good at certain categories? Is a speedrunner good at challenge runs? Like there's so many ways to speedrun that I don't think you can really say this is a good, this is a bad speedrunner. It's too diverse of a competition to really say that. Like, do I think I'm better at range than KOTOR glitchless? Absolutely not. I happen to get really lucky on Terrace, and I'm fortunate that I played well enough to get the time that I did. Like, if range, like, practice, could you get world record in this game? Absolutely. But then the other side is, like, range is also the world record holder of unrestricted. And I have never done that run. So, like, who's better at KOTOR? Me, because I have world record in this one category, or Range, because he has world record in a couple other categories? Like, that's such an unfair comparison to make, you know? So, just speedrun. Just do it.
Yeah, it's all about
just have fun with it.
It's not about records. You know, pushing times down is super satisfying, but it's always community effort anyway, so...
Like for me, I would love to push glitchless down to a 1 hour and 51 minute run. Like for loadless, not RTA, loadless. Because like that sounds fun to me and I want to do something that no one's ever done before. In a game that I enjoy playing.
Yeah, Seraphim worked really hard on this category, so you deserve it, for sure.
Well, thank you. I put in a lot of effort at the beginning of 2022, and I'm glad that I honestly, I got the payoff sooner than I was expecting. I was not expecting to get the record when I did.
Your menuing is very, very fast. Very good. All those point-and-click adventure games that you speedrun coming in handy.
True. I was formerly a putt-putt, Spy Fox, Freddy Fish, and Pajama Sam speedrunner. Those games are far too difficult on my wrists now, but this game is actually not too bad. I mean, I have to take breaks sometimes, but...
Yeah, the numpad enter really does help a lot, just having different... You know, you don't have to mash a single button as fast.
It's also not constant mashing, which is helpful. Yeah. So, we are trying to get to the heart of the Starforge. In order to do that, we need to get past some turrets, and the easiest way to do that is to use this computer terminal, which can cause me to crash. Okay, we didn't. I tend to find that if I use default action to click it, it causes it to crash more often than if I were to just click it with the mouse. But I still kind of clench every time I do that. Alright, we are past these turrets. We're getting pretty close to the end. Just a couple more areas.
Yeah, this is a good run.
Well, the last 5 no reset runs I've done have all been an hour and 58 minutes RTA, so we'll see.
Awesome.
I feel like some things went, I think between like having to get my screen up for you again, and Terrace had some pretty nasty RNG compared to what I've normally
walked away with. Some of the fights were slow, but you know, nothing horrible happened the whole run, so that's good.
If I were to get sub 2 hours, I would be delighted. But I wouldn't be surprised if I went a little over either.
It's hard to say right now. I think you're on pace.
I'm just here to have fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the run so far.
A sub 2 hour run is very good, so
I'm enjoying the fact that that Dark Jedi didn't stun me. Like we're all having a good time. We're about to approach a couple of doors, and there's going to be a group of enemies that I'm forced to kill, and I'm going to use some stims. I already used the hyper alacrity earlier. I used it when that door knocked me down in the first area so I could get that 30% on. So I do believe the 50% and the 30% stack, if I remember correctly. And I want to kill this Jedi in the back first because he can push you like that. So I try to kill him quickly. This time he was mean. Boo. Use a health pack, and then we can move on. And it's time to take on Bastila. Now, throughout the run, we've been slowly putting points into Persuasion. And we have 13 Persuasion right now and Dominate Mind, and that's exactly what we need. Because now I can skip through all of the dialogue. If I didn't have enough Persuasion, I would have to go through a bunch of... I'd have to go through specific dialogue options in order to advance things. But I have 30 Persuasion, so I can just smash through everything, which is really helpful. Because the other thing too is like, I won't kill Bastila now. If I were to mash through that and didn't have enough Persuasion, I would kill her. It's not like run killing, but it is slower.
Yeah, there's like another cutscene where you like execute her. It's kind of weird.
There, a break in the Sith formations. Green Squadron.
The dark side of this game is kind of messed up. Like someone was mentioning earlier, you can force Zalbar to kill mission. Like, that's dark, dude. Like, what the heck?
Feel Zalbar, man.
Okay, loud noise alert. If you have sensitive ears, these things make really loud noise. That's just randomly louder than the rest of the game. So I'm just gonna let you know now. There's gonna be 6 loud noises in just a little bit. Before we get that, Malik has to show off how cool he is. Ooh, I'm a cool Sith Lord. I got these 2 Jedi. Whoa, I killed both of them. I'm super mean and evil. Yeah, we're gonna stop Darth Malik once and for all. Someone very deranged, Lenny Gengar. Someone very deranged. Or who just wants to see the complete scope of the game and is just curious. Alright, hey, we got past the door. That's a good sign. You're gonna notice that there's no final music. This is so. Remember how we talked about memory dumping? As the game accumulates memory and it's leaking it, certain things start to happen. Loss of music is the first one. Fortunately, it's not like we're at risk of crashing. It's just like you're not gonna hear the music because we're close to having our memory be dumped or like leaking too much.
Nice. First round, pretty good.
That was a 3-round phase 1. That's pretty good. So this fight's supposed to have like 2 phases. But the second phase, all these Jedi, every time we take Malik's health down to 1, he will basically suck the life out of 1 and get full health again. But remember how we got Drain Life? Oops. Drain Life lets us also sap these guys. So we're gonna go around and sap these guys, so that way Malik can't. So instead of fighting Malik 8 more times, we're gonna fight Malik 1 more time.
Yep. Run around.
One fun thing you can do is if you go into this corner, you can hit that Jedi early, which is kind of nice.
Optimizations.
Oops.
Very nice.
Trying to.
So we've drained all the popsicles now. We just need to get Malik down to 0 health 1 more time.
And he took away my force powers, which I do want to get back.
Yeah, he'll use this ability that takes away force speed.
So time is coming up really soon. We just have to flurry him, and then time happens when the screen turns to black.
Yeah, there's a black screen in the cutscene.
Come on, main character. Come on, Darth Revan.
Nope.
All right, and time.
Nice. GG.
We did it.
158.29.
Hey,
Very
another
good.
158. I'm just the king of 158s and no reset runs, I guess.
Consistent 158s. That is someone who knows the category well.
We've done it. All right, guys. What do you think? Do we tell Malik that the way to the dark side is the end of all things, ends in death, or do we tell him the power of light will always be stronger than the dark side? What do you guys want? One or two in the chat.
Or one. One is cooler. Casting my vote.
Evil always.
That sounds
2
like
ones.
a 2.
1 2. 2 2s. It's tied. Next one that posts is a tiebreaker. Okay, I see ones. We're going with 1.
Still spouting the wisdom of the Jedi.
We turned him into a believer. He chose the light side as he dies.
Yeah, you can't blame the path. You can't blame me. You continued on this path. Malik dies. Guys, thank you so much for watching this Knights of the Old Republic speedrun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing this classic game played out in a glitchless way. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the marathon. Like Rain said, we do have a code to our speedrunning Discord. If you are interested in learning to speedrun the game, we have a very welcoming community. I would love to help you learn this category. Others can help you learn other categories if glitches isn't your thing. But I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And a shout out to